How do I look?
Great.
Makeup's good?
Good. There you go. So just
Yeah, sure. So my name is Kubbernus. I'm the CEO of Kubb&Co, which is a digital media agency based here in Copenhagen. What I talked about on stage, I talked a lot about death. Now people are like, why are you talking about death at a social media summit? But basically, my talk was about brands need to and marketers need to adapt to the changes that we're seeing in the marketplace regarding social media, regarding marketing in general, in order not to die. Because I believe that we're going through a massive technological and cultural shift that's fundamentally changing the way we do things in the physical world and also in the non-physical world with virtual reality and social media. And I think brands need to adapt super quick or else they're a goner. Yeah.
So actually my question says, how has video fundamentally changed how we market on social media and market in general?
Well, it's funny that we are a video-based media now. Almost everything is video, whether that's getting onto a FaceTime to talk with your loved ones, or if that's Snapchatting, or if that's consuming media. I mean, YouTube is insane. I mean, people have this sort of distinction between mainstream media and social media, and I'm like, that's changed. There's more people on social media, there's more people consuming video on YouTube than there are people watching television. And I think so the mainstream media is actually YouTube nowadays. So I think video is so fantastic as a medium. I mean, we've always been in love with film, we've been in love with moving photos and pictures, and I think that won't stop.
What brands do you see out there that really excel at this, that aren't gonna die?
Red Bull. That's a clear example. I mean, and they're ahead of the game. They said, almost 10 years ago, they're like, if we don't adapt, we're gonna die because we're just a drink, right? So they said, wait a second, why don't we connect with this subset of our consumers, which are these adrenaline junkies, and how do we turn that into a media play? So Red Bull's basically a media now, right? Putting out extreme videos about somebody jumping from space and race car driving and flying planes at ridiculous speeds. Like, could you imagine if you were let's say a kitchen knife company that says, okay, we're gonna do kitchen knife fights, right? As a media, right? It's basically that, and it's a fundamental change in the way you do things, right? So I really love Red Bull.
Yeah.
It's a good example.
What would your advice be for brands who want to measure what this video content is doing and how they can optimize for the future?
How they measure it? I mean, there's a lot of fake metrics out there. I tweeted about this the other day that Facebook counts a view as 3 seconds. And so we're looking at these view numbers and we're like, oh yeah, man, our stuff's super popular. And I'm like, nah, 3 seconds, that's what you guys are counting as popular? Nobody's even consumed that yet. So I think we need to be very smart about what we actually consider as a view, what we consider as actually engagement. I think those numbers need to change, but I think, or at least we need to be critical of those numbers. But I think we're all looking for reach, we're all looking for attention. A lot of it comes down to shareability. Is it shared? Does it get past just being on your own Facebook page or on your YouTube? I mean, YouTube's basically a search engine. Does that video content get searched? Does it come up in a search rank? Those things I think are really important for brands to consider.
So I know you're really into Snapchat.
Right.
What's the future for brands? Is it Snapchat? Is it Instagram? What do you see? What channels?
Well, the ultimate future is virtual reality. I mean, that's way out there, but I think that we're seeing some sort of stepping stones to that. So if we could say like augmented reality, Snapchat, Instagram stories, those are the sort of baby steps that we're seeing to virtual reality, right? Because now we're actually not just going to be snapping stuff, we're actually going to be living in a world that doesn't exist in some way, right? So as a brand, you're going to have to start thinking about how do we create engagement and products in a world that doesn't exist. And this is just the precursor to that. So I don't think the future is Snapchat. I think Snapchat as a technological advancement in how we communicate is important. I think we need to look at that and say, whoa, what's going on here? We've totally changed how we communicate. Like, we literally send only photos and chat and draw on stuff and be creative and do reverse things and forwards things and rainbows coming out of our mouths. Like, we've totally changed how we communicate, and that's what's important. It's not the platform. It's the advancement in technology that's important.
Exactly. So I know you gave a whole speech on how companies can die, or like what to do to not die. But if you could narrow it down to one thing, what would you tell them?
What do companies need to do to not die? They need to not roll their eyes at technology. They need to notice that technology is culture. Basically, that it's become a part of our fabric. I'm sorry, I'm touching this. It's become a part of their fabric. So I think that we need to, if they just look at it in that way, it's if they change their mindset towards, oh, I'm not going to roll my eyes at when I see my 14-year-old daughter on Snapchat and they're going, rolling their eyes. I think what they need to do, CEOs, CMOs, the people that are making the biggest decisions need to say, whoa, that's interesting. They need to be curious. They need to say, whoa, what's going on here? Instead of going, oh, that's dismissing stuff. They need to change their mindset to be more curious and say, whoa, this is neat, and looking into it. I'm not saying like they have to uproot their entire company and go in this direction and then run in that direction. No, but they need to have a curious mindset that says, let's check this out. It seems really interesting, and let's maybe implement it in the future.
Love it.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Is that okay? Cool.
Maddie, you got a question?
Thanks, man.
Thanks, man.
Great.
That's great. Yeah,
Cheers.
yeah.
Thanks, Ty.
Really appreciate it.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.